On this episode of Searching for History, I'm at Lime Kiln Point State Park on San Juan Island, and I'm walking down a trail to some lime kiln ruins. So come along, let's check it out. So right below me here is the old lime kiln. Let's see what this information panel has to say. The lime operations dramatically changed the landscape at Lime Kilns Point State Park. Starting in 1860 and spanning a period of almost 90 years, the mining blasted deeply into the hillsides and the surrounding forest was clear-cut for firewood to fuel the kilns. Lime comes from limestone, the sedimentary rock formed by the consolidation of marine invertebrate skeletons. There's a drawing here that shows the deforestation of the hillsides and mining, and then the kiln right there. Then the lime being loaded onto ships. Apparently you had to get the limestone to about 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit to transform it into lime. So it looks like they've built this frame around it to hold the lime kiln together. So you can see there at the top is the chimney for the kiln. Wow, those are pretty big timbers. Well, let's go down to the bottom and take a closer look. Apparently there's really steep stairs you have to go down. Okay, time to be careful. Okay, so here's kind of the mid-level. I don't really know how this worked, but I'm thinking that wood would have been placed at the bottom, and then maybe this is where the limestone was added and turned into lime here. And then it would burn, as the wood burned down, that you'd then collect the lime at the bottom. Purely speculating, I don't see any kind of information panel explaining how it works. Looks like there's same kind of hatch on the far side, so something could be loaded from both sides. If you know how a lime kiln works, let me know in the comments below. Okay. Well, this definitely looks like where the lime would have come out of after the limestone was processed. So I think right here behind me is where the superheated limestone, once it was turned into lime, would come out this chute. And I guess right here there must have been a pier for loading onto ships. Wow. It's pretty clear water. So I think right here is where the ships would come in, and the lime would be put in barrels and then loaded on the ships. I don't see any sign of any kind of a wharf or pier infrastructure. but there had to have been some interface between the land and where the ships were coming in. If you look right here, you can see a whole layer of lime that's kind of cascading down the hillside right here. So this is just right below the kiln. And then across over here is another hillside that's all white with lime, making me think there may have been another kiln just right up there in the trees above that. There's even some lumber sticking out of that lime deposit. And then there's this little kelp forest right here. Looks like it goes all along the shoreline. Yep, all the way down that way. Okay, so there is a second lime kiln right above that big area of lime wash that was going down into the sea. And here it is. This one is in definite need of consolidation. Wow. So it's pretty cool, actually. In some ways it's kind of built like a castle or a castle tower, because you have the outer stones, and then inside the wall, the core of the wall is rubble, and then the interior of the kiln, now this is where it deviates from a castle wall or tower, is the inside of the kiln is lined with brick, some kind of fire brick. And then there on the right, all the cornerstones or quoins are missing. You know, as I'm walking out, I'm just looking around, and there's a lot of stone on the surface here. And this stone matches the stone that's used in the kilns. I think it makes sense that they used local stone, and apparently they did. The lime industry operated not just near Lime Kiln Point, but also over at Roche Harbor. To start, British Marines quarried and processed limestone at Roche Harbor during the joint occupation of the San Juan Islands in the 1860s. In 1872, the lime industry at Roche Harbor passed into private hands, moving company to company until the holdings were purchased by John S. McMillan, who established the Tacoma and Roche Harbor Lime Company in 1886. Tacoma and Roche Harbor Lime Company, later to become Roche Harbor Lime and Cement Company, had its kilns, a warehouse, wharf, and a fleet of ships that carried lime to growing markets along the West Coast. The company was a major source of lime for use in agriculture and construction throughout the West, including San Francisco after the devastating 1906 earthquake. During the 1940s and early 1950s, production gradually shifted from lime production to paper rock, a low-grade limestone used in paper making. In 1956, Tacoma and Roche Harbor Lime Company president Paul McMillan, son of John McMillan, sold Roche Harbor to the Tart family, marking the end of the lime industry at Roche Harbor. I'm actually delightfully surprised.
Are you?
This is really nice.
Yep. Very sweet village.
So the bricks we're walking on actually originally were the bricks that lined the lime kilns. And speaking of lime kilns, we'll go take a look at the ruins of a couple that are left.
all filled in.
You can't see anything?
No, it's all filled in.
My favorite component of the lime industry we saw were the lime kilns at Lime Kiln Point State Park. It was cool to be able to see how they were constructed and how, in a way, they were very similar in construction to a medieval wall or tower, where you have facing stones. The middle of the wall is composed of rubble or filled with rubble, and then you have interior stones, and in this case, instead of stone, they were brick. Well, that's our video on San Juan Island's lime industry. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, share, comment on this video, and please subscribe to this channel.